There is no obvious trail anywhere. This is a path, I suppose. I can't call it a trail though. My head keeps spinning around. You just expect a bear to come charging out. This has probably got to be one of the most remote locations you can get to in the Pocono. Good morning. Welcome to the Pocono Mountains. It's Sunday, August 31st. I am here at the trailhead for the Fern Ridge Bog Preserve. We're at the intersection of Route 115, a very busy road, and Deppner's Road in this small parking area. We're going to be doing a very interesting hike today into what is described as the classic old Poconos. A deep, deep forest on the other side of the road. I'll be telling you more about it as we go. This is going to be a really challenging hike. There's not much information about this place online. There's no all trails. It's said that the navigation is very difficult. There's very little blazing, so we're going to take our time. I was able to screenshot a map and a couple sources of information, but I don't think there's any YouTube videos of this place. I don't think there's. It's very little known. It's very deep forest, and it's something that appeals to me. So it's going to be a challenge, but we're going to see how far we can go. There's supposed to be a lollipop that you can do about 6 to 7 miles. So we got all day. It's 7 a.m. It's about 40 degrees. Beautiful weather, blue skies. We're going to have really nice lighting, but let's get across the road. Let's find our way, and let's head into this forest here, Fern Ridge Bog Preserve. So even though this is only the last day of August, there is a definite fall feel in the air. And it's just after 7 a.m. I got to the trailhead at about 6:30, but I was waiting for a little more light to come up because, like I said, this is going to be a pretty difficult trail to navigate. There's very little blazing from what I understand. Not frequently hiked area. We're in a very unique area of the Poconos. This land is owned by the Nature Conservancy, so this is some of the most valuable and rarest habitat left in the Poconos. True old Pocono forest habitat. But the interesting juxtaposition of that is that this parcel of land is surrounded by Route 115, I-80 to the north, and the Pocono Raceway. So you never really get that deep isolating sense because you're always hearing a little traffic noise in the back, but visually it should be stunning. So we just come out of that open meadow area, and here's an indicator for where we got to turn into the forest, and this is the kind of blazing we're talking about as we're heading in this way. There's a very good chance we'll encounter wildlife back here. This is black bear, bobcat, coyote territory for sure. Again, not many people come back here, but once the sun rises a little higher, I'd say another 15 minutes, we're gonna have some absolutely beautiful lighting back here. These thick rhododendron on both sides definitely have me a little bit on edge. My head keeps spinning around. You just expect a bear to come charging out. You can't see more than a couple feet in, and it's like dense like a jungle. I'm seeing some really large, old, moss-covered stumps along the trail. And the trees here for the Pocono Mountains are really, really quite large. Very impressed with this forest so far. So the beginning part of this hike has actually been pretty easy to follow. Beautiful hemlock forest. We've just been walking through non-stop rhododendron. But again, the traffic noise from I-80 is very loud, which is a shame. That's the curse of Pennsylvania. The most beautiful forest, but roads and highways everywhere, and it just echoes for miles around. Starting to get into the light now, and this crisp morning air. I just love having the freedom to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and hit the road and get to these kind of places at sunrise. It's truly a blessing. I thank you for joining me, and I'm so happy you can share these adventures with me. It's truly a blessing. Nature is a gift for all of us to enjoy. All right, so we just passed a wetland area to the left and another wetland to the right, but it was deeper in the forest. And it looks like we're coming to that opening now, that power line right away. So I'll recheck my sources and see which way I want to go. I do see a piece of flagging tape just ahead at the opening. So we're making our way across this power line right of way, and although these can seem like eyesores, they do sometimes serve a purpose of creating a different type of landscape with some unusual plants, different habitat for species. And I do see a white disc on the other side of the power line here, so we can continue on, but there's not much of a trail through here, honestly. Back into the forest now, and still seeing a couple faint blazes, but from what I read, the trail becomes much less defined back in here, and the real adventure begins. One source of information I used for this hike was the website for the Broadhead Watershed Association. They've published 3 online booklets for guides to hiking in the Poconos. And when people ask me a lot of times, like, where do you get your information? How do you find these places? Well, I do a lot of research. This is what I do. This is my hobby and my passion. But that website has about 50 to 60 hikes listed, some of them more obscure like this one. So that is a great example of a good reference to use. I'm definitely on a trail. Now, after the right of way, there's a loop, but I don't know which side of the loop I'm on. The trail is marked both red and white. I mean, it's gorgeous back here though, but I'm really kind of not sure. See all the ground pine on the forest floor. And oh my gosh, there it is. Exactly what I was looking for. So I am on the right path. So this tree, notice the 3 slashes. Now going this way is a spur off the loop, the White Trail. We're going to follow this up to a meadow area, and then we're going to return this way to continue the loop. So I mentioned a little while ago that one of the few sources of information for this place I could find was the Broadhead Watershed Association, but another source I found, which I shouldn't be surprised about, was Jeff Mitchell's blog, Endless Mountains WordPress. And it was because I had read his blog that I was aware of that 3 slash marking on the tree. So if you're not familiar with his work, you really should get to know it, because he does a fantastic job. He's probably the best there is, covering certainly northeastern Pennsylvania, but maybe the whole entire state. Always appreciate the work he does, helping me find my way into adventures like this. We've come to a dry creek. Hardly any water in there, unfortunately. So now that we've crossed the stream, there is no obvious trail anywhere. So I gotta fan out until I find another faint blaze. It's gotta be generally in this direction. Something tells me it's this way. We're basically on a bushwhack at this point. There are blazes, but there's no real discernible trail. Blaze on the tree behind me. There's no cut footpath. Very few people come back here, and you know, they probably want it that way. But the forest is wide open, so you can see ahead to the next blaze and the next blaze. Wow. I gotta say, the descriptions for this White Trail were so accurate. You walk, and then you come into a dead end because you just don't see anything at all. And you look around, I'm ready to turn around, and then I find a little marker or blaze on a tree. But this is a path, I suppose. I can't call it a trail though. And it is advised that you attempt this hike, do not attempt it, you know, later in the afternoon or evening. Make sure you have plenty of daylight, because you could get lost pretty easily back here. Especially if you're someone like me hiking by myself. It's beautiful forest though. I want to get out to this meadow and check that out. There's something over there moving through the woods. Probably deer. I can't see it. It's large. Well, after a lot of confusing back and forth, and I very nearly gave up, we finally reached the Sheep Laurel meadow. And the trail, if you can call it that, is about 6 inches wide with brush beyond my waist, but This has probably got to be one of the most remote locations you can get to in the Poconos. It's stunningly beautiful. Stunningly beautiful landscape. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in the Poconos. And you can see now why this place has protection from the Nature Conservancy for this type of habitat right here. No adequate words to describe the beauty and the wildness, the feel of this place. This is a truly remote location that very few people ever see. And the trail, if you can call it that, has become essentially non-existent. Well, I am going to turn around now and leave this beautiful wild meadow. The Nature Conservancy map calls this the Barrens, and this trail supposedly does cut through here, but I'm in brush up over my waist. There's a couple deer paths. There's no flagging that I can see. I don't doubt that there is a way through, but I can't find it. So I'm gonna head back now all the way through that maze that we came through and get back to the point where we left the red trail and join the white trail, and I'll meet up with you there. All right, guys. Well, I am legit lost this time. After I left the meadow or barren area, I came to what they call, I think, like the Hemlock Cathedral, but it's just a wide open area, and then the blazes just disappeared. And no matter how many times I tried, going to the right, going center, going left, I just could not find any blazing at all. So at this point, I'm basically going to start bushwhacking back to the power line unless I can find something. Now, I'm at that first stream I crossed, which is right behind me, so maybe I can walk along the stream a little bit and see if I can find where I crossed. But this is crazy. This is crazy, this place. Beautiful, but crazy. After about 45 minutes of being completely lost and walking back and forth, and basically getting to the point where I'd given up on finding the trail and was going to just bushwhack in a line for the power line, by God, I stumbled onto the trail again. I cannot recommend this white trail unless you're doing it with another person. And even now that I found the blazes, I've lost them again. So it is rough in here. All right, so we reached the junction with the white trail and the red trail, and I had walked right past it. But basically, if we want to finish the loop, we go that way, following red blazes, or we can go this way and head back the way we came in. All right, so I tried going down the red trail and finishing the loop, but I went like 100 yards and I lost the trail again. And you know what? It's just not worth it. I'm literally getting a headache from spinning around, and I'm red green colorblind. I can barely see these red blazes as it is. So I think we saw the most interesting thing to see back here. This is just the kind of place where you have to do the buddy system, and you know, it's just not worth getting lost again. I don't doubt that I'd be able to find my way, but it's exhausting. So I'm gonna make my way back. Still a beautiful place and a beautiful hike, but you know, as I keep saying, it's just tricky to navigate. All right, my friends, that is going to do it here from the Fern Ridge Bog Preserve outside of Blakesley. Incredibly beautiful forest. We made it from the parking area out to the White Trail, to the Barrens or the meadows, the Sheep Laurel meadows. One of the most beautiful places I've seen in Pennsylvania. So it was worth it for that alone. But the blazing here and the trails are like just treacherous. Never been turned around so many times. So you would definitely want to hike this with a partner, and do your research. Have a fully charged battery. I can't really recommend you coming out here on your own. I wanted to make the whole loop, couldn't do it. Not going to try it, not today. But still a worthwhile expedition here, and some nature adventure discovery. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and drop a comment. So that's it for now, and I'll see you on the next one. Gator out.